Hi and hello, everybody. I wanted to pop on here just to say hello to everyone, just to see how you're all doing with what's going on right now in the world. I know that it can be very scary, and I know that it brings happy times also, because we get to spend like really good quality time with our families, and time that we maybe find hard to all come together and be together maybe in the one room. And so with that, that's bringing like really, um, I suppose, different dynamics to our relationships, with one another, with our kids, with our husband, with our wives. Um, and we get to see each other in a different light. I don't know if there's other ones out there like myself who currently are like night owls and are up late in the even times. I know for me it's because when my kids are fully exhausted, and sometimes we let them stay up late watching movies and that, like we did tonight, that it is a time then afterwards that I get to stay up for myself, just to check in to see how am I doing with everything that's going on, and how am I doing with myself, more importantly. And I've been wanting to come on here for the last few days and just wondering, what I'll talk about. And um, but a few things have come up for me. One of them is grief, and how some of us have all this emotion pent up inside us, and we don't know what's going on because we've never been in a position like this before, like having this virus and that, and we don't know how to deal with it. And sometimes during the day we don't notice so much because we're flat out busy with our kids or our family or whatever the case is. But then when it comes to nighttime and it's quiet and it's silent, then some of those feelings can start to surface. So, just to let you guys know, who follow my page, that I do breathing techniques. So, they're yoga transformational breathing techniques, and they're really good for just calming down the body, calming down the mind, just like relaxing the heart rate, bringing down the blood pressure. And it's a lovely thing to do if you can on a daily basis. I don't know if you've heard the saying before that practice it when you're not in it. So, meaning that if you practice it often enough, then when the time comes that you do feel worried and you do feel anxious, that you have this practice implemented, or habit created, that it is there to support you when you need it. So if you'd like to go back and have a look at any of my videos, I have them on a few different platforms: YouTube, Instagram and Facebook. And I was meant to do another one tonight, but you're not meant to eat for 2 hours before doing it. And I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I can't stop eating since this whole thing started. And I suppose maybe in one way that's possibly a form of dealing with stuff as well, or possibly not dealing with stuff, maybe. And so, yeah, I plan to come up here and do this Kalabati breath, which is the breath of fire. And it's really good for just getting out all the stress and just, making you feel alive, and yet calming down the system at the same time. So I decided, I'm so sorry, to have some apple tart and custard instead. But you know what, there's a time for that too. So yeah, I was reading something online there just the other day, and it actually struck me that it's true. There's a grievance going on for all of us. Like, it's hitting every single one of us. Grievance on so many levels. So, grievance that we don't have the lifestyle that we've been having prior to, or that we had prior to Corona. That could be that we're not working the same jobs, that we mightn't work again after for a period of time, or we mightn't have a job afterwards, that we're at home all the time, that we've never had to do in a long time for some people, that a grievance maybe for our kids that they might miss the rest of this school term, a grievance for our kids that our kids too are grieving because their whole world has been changed and it's upside down and they don't know what to do with themselves. So trying to teach them how to be in all of this while we're trying to learn how to be in all of this also. And then a grievance for family members that are sick or ourselves that might be sick, and a grievance for, you know, all the other towns and counties and the world and Mother Nature, and just it goes on and on. And, you know, we might be wondering, why am I acting a certain way, or why am I feeling a certain way? And I don't know what's going on right now. But you know what? If you were to do some of those yoga breathing techniques, it's a really good way to silence the mind and just sit with yourself and see, what is going on for me right now? And when I started to do that, I actually realised, going, oh, hold on a second. There's been a huge upheaval of things. There's this big massive pandemic going on that people are trying to figure out how it's working, how it came about, how we're going to like overcome it, like all of these different things. And so much going on, like such huge stuff. Of course it's going to stir up huge emotions in all of us. So I suppose it's to give ourselves time to sit with ourselves and just calm ourselves down, calm our heart down, settle. There's a time for settling in all of this. And I think that when we do that, when the dust settles, when our emotion settles, when our nervous system settles, then we can figure out where we're at in all of this and how we're going to move forward with this. So I know that another good thing is to do exercise. And we're very lucky right now that there are many platforms as to where we can, what we can use for exercise. There's cardio, there's yoga, Pilates, and there's kids yoga, there's meditation. There are so many ways of doing a form of exercise, which actually, I know it's hard to motivate ourselves, but if we can motivate ourselves, it would be really, really good if we could even just do 10 minutes a day. And it's about having self-love for yourself and just taking that time out for yourself. Because if we sabotage when we're here at home and we think we're too busy with the kids, or I don't have the time and blah, 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 you know that we're very good as humans to come up with every excuse not to do things. But just a few minutes every day, I would invite you to do maybe a few minutes breath work. You don't have to do necessarily the breath work that I do, but you can do like your own, just sit down, just take a moment and catch your breath and think, how am I? And in moments of dismay or moments of worry, just see where can you catch yourself and say, hold on a second. Put your feet on the ground and think, how am I? Where am I? What do I need for myself? Because when you look after yourself and see what you need, then it's like all of a sudden your it's kind of like your own Google Maps like recalculates and figures out where it's going, and then you're better for everybody else then in your surroundings. So that might be your family, your dog, your cat, whatever, it doesn't matter. So yeah, that's that I want to talk about the grieving, about the exercise. For me, I do yoga. I teach yoga, and there are many different yoga teachers out there, and they teach different styles, and some of them are very strong postures. To be more, you'd need to be more athletic for something like those. But definitely try them out. Don't let that kind of stop you. And then there are ones then that is more of like a flow. They're really nice. They go from one movement to the other, like it's called vinyasa, and that is almost like a dance. Actually, it's beautiful to watch. And don't worry, you don't have to be a good dancer to be able to do that either. For myself, just to let you know about my own personal journey. So I have fibromyalgia. And apparently I got that, the specialist told me, because I was hyperly mobile. Now, I don't know if I was hyperly mobile, and maybe I was. But anyways, so from that I got my fibromyalgia. So I have chronic fatigue and stiffness. and it was suggested to me to do some yoga. So I decided I'd become a yoga teacher. And because I knew if I didn't become a teacher, I'd probably sabotage my time. And I think that when you're a mom, that you do that all of the time. You put yourself last. So it was a good motivation to spend this money. So it meant that I would have to then do my yoga practices. So yeah, with myself, I realised just the other day when I sat in my own silence and I was thinking, for me, there is a grievance for myself in that being diagnosed with something, there is a grievance. There's a grievance because, depending on what it is that you have, there's a grievance because for me, to come to terms with the fact that I'm not going to be as flexible, I'm not going to be possibly as strong, I'm not going to be as fit and as agile and full of energy as often as what I would have been in the past, and that I can't do as much as what I would have done either in the past, whether it's going out with friends, whether it's doing stuff around the house, many other different things. And there's a grievance that comes with that. I'm not saying that you have to, what would be the word now? I suppose a surrender, yeah, a little bit, but maybe succumb to the fact that, you know, you're not ever going to get strong. You're not ever going to be able to achieve what you'd like to achieve, because I think if you set limitations on yourself, then it's very hard for you to achieve. So I suppose there's a bit of acceptance, and I think around the acceptance is compassion. I think maybe that's what it is. It's to find the compassion in yourself, because oftentimes we have to justify to other people why we can't do something, and then we have their opinions. So for me, it'd be because I'm slim, therefore I should be fit. And I think that's a misconception, because although I, well, was thinner before this virus, I amn't as flexible as what I was. But with doing a bit of yoga every single day, or every other day, it certainly has helped me to become more supple in my body, and certainly more centered, more grounded. I definitely feel with the breathing techniques that with the current situation, that it's kind of forced me to do my breathing techniques that bit more, and I feel I'm a better person because of it. And I'm so in its entirety of everything, I have benefited from it. And so I would love to show you guys someday how I do my yoga in the morning in my bed. So I do yoga, say, on my mat in this room here sometimes. I'll do it outside sometimes. But there are mornings that I wake up and I am so sore and I am so stiff. And so I do some yoga stretches for me, my main tightness would be above my bra strap, and my hips, my lower back, and sometimes in front of my pelvis. And so I do a couple of yoga stretches, so to get my mobility kind of working in the morning, to get my natural anti-inflammatory response working, so that I can actually get out of the bed. And sometimes I don't get a chance to do these things, and I hadn't a chance to do them when I was doing school runs, because, well, I was trying to convince myself that it's better to stay in bed for a few minutes longer and get the rest than to do my yoga. And what happened then was I would wake up and I'm jumping out of bed with a stiff body at 100 miles an hour. And that's when injury can happen, and that's when extra soreness can happen. So I suppose for me, it was to love myself, give myself the self-care, and snap out of my old routine and think, Thelma, if you're going to stay in bed longer, it means that you're going to be worse throughout the day, not better. And you always feel more motivated and your day goes better once you've done a little bit of exercise at the start of the day. So even if that's like 5-10 minutes doing a bit of a stretch, then so be it. So I'm just trying to check here with little things that I have wrote down that I want to kind of touch base with you guys. Oh yeah, I realised that Did you ever see the movie 50 First Dates, I think it is? Where is it Adam Sandler and what's that girl's name? Oh, I can't, she slipped to my mind now. But basically, she loses her memory, say, every evening. So every day she forgets that she loves this guy, Adam Sandler. So every day he has to win her over and win over her love and her trust every single day. And it just happens. It's like Groundhog Day. And I realised for myself, that's what happens to me in my body with my fibromyalgia. I go to bed not so bad stiffness wise because I've had my movement throughout the day, like my everyday movement. Okay, so I'm mobile, and that kind of helps me sometimes with my aches and pains. But then I go to bed and I wake up in the morning and I am so stiff and I am so sore. And some days I'm worse than others, and the days that I'm not, oh my God, I swear to God, it's like winning the lotto. So I do have to fall in love with my body every single day. Learn to wake up, learn to get my body to trust me, get myself to love my body again. I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about love the body that I have now, at the age that I'm at now, and for the ability that it has right now. And when I got that awareness, I think I flipped the switch. I think I was like, oh my God, I got it. Like, this is what has to happen. This is the self-care. This is the self-love. This is what I need to do in my body. And so I really, really, really feel that I have got yoga to thank for this. It has, I suppose, calmed my mind. It has brought clarity and a new perspective on how to look at my body and what it's capable of doing anymore. And the funny thing is that since I flipped the script, I actually feel stronger in my body, and I feel more alive, and I'm feeling happier, and I'm more able to do things, because I suppose I'm creating new emotions in my body, and therefore that creates new chemicals in my body. So possibly my body is releasing all these new endorphins, which is the feel good factor. So on a whole, actually it's amazing. And I've started to do a little few things for myself, that in my room here, where I come in sometimes do meditation, I come in sometimes to do my yoga, I realised, okay, hold on, what else is it that I actually love? How can I put the things I love into this room? So this is like my happy space. And can I create my happy space all around the house? But that's another point. So I got myself this really inexpensive, cheap little vase, if you like. You wouldn't even call it a vase, it's so tiny. And I planted these gorgeous daffodils, because daffodils always remind me of happiness, of spring, of joy, of being alive, of sunshine, of so many things, right? So wait and I show you about these daffodils I picked. And I put them at all different levels, so it looks just lovely and joyful. Look how nice these are. Like, just see how they open their heart, they open their face, they open their whole self up to the whole world, and they just shine bright like a diamond. They just shine like there's no tomorrow. And with no apology of being as beautiful as they are, they just are what they are, and are as beautiful as what they are. Can you see the tiredness is kicking in now, my vocabulary? But you know what I mean, they're just amazing. So anyways, guys, to finish up, I just wanted to say that I wanted to come on here to check with you guys and to just see how you are in all of this. And for you, my main point is, I suppose, is to check in with yourself. Really check in with yourself. Find compassion for yourself, compassion for your heart, and just see what is going on for me right now? What is going on for me in this world right now? Where am I in all of it? Where am I really in all of it? And what can I give myself How can I support myself in all of this? Because supporting yourself, firstly, helps you then to support other people in your life. So for me, it's maybe doing meditation, it's going out into nature, it's bringing nature into my house, whether it's plants or it's flowers. It's doing the breath work, which is your prana, which is your life force, your energy force that's in your body. Sorry about that beep in there now. It's about doing gentle, mild exercises. And for some of you, you might want more aerobic exercises, and that's out there too. It's about catching the moments when you find yourself in a flutter and see, can you find the kindness for yourself and bring yourself back down and say, you know what, you're doing a good job today. Well done, you. And give yourself, I can't do it now because I've got my phone in my hand, but give yourself that self-love, that lovely kind of hug. Give yourself the hug that you mightn't be able to get from anybody else because of this isolation. Be there for yourself and give to yourself what you would love to give to others. And basically that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope you all are doing the best that you can do, showing yourself the kindness and honouring who you are and giving yourself everything you need. And see if you can find time for all of the other things to support yourself. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy my breathing techniques that I have in other videos, and I have a few yoga videos up that I'm doing yoga exercise and yoga postures. I generally like, should I say, to do yoga that is, say, for maybe rehabilitation, for aches, pains, injuries, different things like that. The reason why I like to do that is because I like to feel how my body, what goes on in my body as I move from one posture to another, to really feel what's going on in my body, because it changes from hour to hour. And I think that when, for me anyway, when I'm going from one movement to the other movement very fast, and it is easy to do things fast and have a flow and whatever else, it is easy to do all those, and it is nice to get your heart rate up and do some of those things. But for me, I don't tune in to what's going on in my body and what my body needs in certain areas. So I really get to hone in on specific areas in my body and think, oh, I'm a little bit tight there on my glutes, or I'm a little bit sore there on my biceps, or whatever the case may be. Or you don't even have to know the names, but on my upper thigh, or whatever the case it is. And when you feel that tightness, I invite you to breathe. Breathe into that space. Really, really feel for yourself and breathe into that space, because when you do, your body knows that you're giving it self-love in that moment. And that might be all that it needed. A little bit of self-love, a little bit of self-compassion. Breathe into it. The muscle might just relax and calm itself down, and do it with ease. And you might notice the next day that you move slowly through all the different postures, that muscle that was tight the day before has actually just said, thank you. I needed a bit of attention there. Thank you. So that's the type of yoga that I love to do. I can do other different types, but for the moment, that's the one that I really, really enjoy, and it's the one that I really enjoy teaching. So getting to know you, getting to know your body and what's going on inside you, because this is your gift. We got this gift, our body, from whoever you want to call it, God, higher source, whatever the case may be. And so it's to really, really appreciate and value this gift that we have and give it what it needs. So with all that said, I hope you all sleep very well. Sweet dreams, and we'll talk to you again. Take care. Namaste.